So this is SkyFortress. SkyFortress is the newest expansion. We're supposed to get part 2. I think it's January or February. I'm not really sure when. But this is part 1. You have to be level 50 to be able to do it. This is one of my alts that I don't really play, and these things take a lot of time. I still recommend doing them. You click this exclamation mark right here to get the quest. This is the quest. You accept the quest, and you go through this little quest line. There's a few different things. It tells you where it go, just like all the other quest lines, and they're pretty easy to do. I think I didn't really have much of a trouble on it on the 2 characters I did, which one was a level 50, I think it was my archer, with green gear, so that should tell you it's not that hard to do. And then you go to the SkyFortress, which I'll go to my main to show you this. I recommend doing them, if nothing else, after you hit 50, but for the EXP. It also gives, I think it was like 300 or 400 prestige or something like that per quest in the quest line itself, not just these dailies. I don't remember how much the dailies give. I don't really pay attention that much. And as you can tell, my loading screens are horrible. You do SkyFortress. To get to SkyFortress, it's down here in the bottom right, this board SkyFortress right here. Alternatively, you can press M on the map. You can... It's not loading. I don't know why it's not loading. There it is. Track SkyFortress. And this is the SkyFortress up here. You have to click on this, and then it will tell you when this world boss spawns, which I'll explain later. But you go here, SkyFortress, you go in, and this is basically a set of daily events, or quests and weekly quests to get certain reputation. This is, see, all of these are quests. These are the weeklies that I've already done. Most of the weeklies will have you do a world boss. I think each faction has their own, like 2 or 3 world bosses that it switches between. Or it takes about 7 days because of either a bug or just something that they've done that they haven't announced. Which, this is what you're looking at, this reputation right here. You need to get trusted in, I think it's both the Green Hoods and the Lumi Knights to be able to unlock this one. This is the 3rd rep, this is the Dark Wind, and then you do 7 days of that, and then you get the Vanguard, which is right here. This is the 4th faction, and then you do 7 days of that, and then you get the Alliance Captain. And you need trusted in each one of these, we think, for the content in the second part of SkyFortress, but we are not 100% sure. This might change. It might be that you have to do it something else. We don't really know for sure. They were talking about in other versions you have to have the rep all the way to the max, which you can check your reputation as well from going down here to the character, right here, all the way up to reputation. There is, like I said, there's people saying that you need it all the way up, but I don't know how true that is yet, especially for our version. Each of these factions have their own little shop, and depending on what you have rep-wise, depends on what you can buy. These are legendary value rerollers. So like these gloves are something I've been trying to reroll because it has magic piercing at a pretty good amount. So I would buy the gloves rerollers to reroll that. You can buy 1 of these a week. You can buy 3 crystal fragments times 100, so you can buy 300 crystal fragments. You can buy 2 or 3 green crystals. Yeah, it's 2 green crystals, 2 blue crystals per faction. And then each faction also has these for the purple gear if you should need it. There's also name tags, chat bubbles. This is an interactive object for your house. I don't really know if it has a achievement or not. or trophy. And then there's the Pharaoh cat for this one. For this one over here is the gloves. It has the headgear and gloves. It has, like I said, the souvenir and the chat bubble and the name tag. And then, so as you can see, they are kind of the same. You can see these even when you don't have the reputation. This is the bottom reroller. Again, this is only level 50 legendary, so unless we get higher legendary or they change the item, there's no real reason to stock up on them. This is the weapon boxes, plus these, plus there's a chat bubble, name tag, and souvenir, and then the headgear reroller. And then for the last faction, which is one of the more annoying ones to do, you have the top reroller and the accessories. And then of course, and then you have a mount, which this is the mount. And it is a purple mount, so maybe that might be something you want. It will take you a really long time to get this amount, especially if you're trying to get these rerollers for the top. Each one has like a little different quest you have to do. Mason over here for the, well, it says Templar above his Knight and Lumi Knights. All of these quests are generally go into the PvP maps. This one, which is the Green Hoods, generally has you get like the peppermint root, the cherries, suspicious sweetener, suspicious meat, suspicious seasoning, potion solvents, cherries. Let's see if I have it all. Basically, suspicious sweetener, potion solvent, meat, seasoning, these cherries. I don't have peppermint, and I don't have the mushrooms, but they're things that drop. The cherries, I don't remember where all these things drop. Like, I know insects drop cherries, but they have to be level, I think it's 15 or 20 and above. The peppermint is fairy folk. The black pine mushrooms is undead, and I don't remember. Like I said, each one has two different ones. I can't believe I can't remember it right now. They're also getting really, really cheap on the marketplace, at least on NA West. I'll just show you real fast. See, they're 2,400 each. And this is because the bots are hitting this market really, really hard. As you can see with this 3,000, 4,000 stack right here. But it's also because players are undercutting really bad. Like, this is 80 gold undercut right here. Like, there's no reason to do that. But that's what people are doing. At the rate that it's going, like, peppermints are only 2k each. And last night they were going for almost 4k each. So that should tell you that these three here undercut a huge amount for no reason. It's just, the market is so unstable with those. So they might be cheap enough that you can buy them, they might not. Another one that it gives you is to talk to this thing right here, which I don't have a quest for, and donate gear. The gear has to be a level that you are actually able to break it down. And then this one here, the vanguards are, some of them are to fight mobs, but or look for certain people, but generally it's level 1 through 4 crafting items. Like, I'm trying to remember it all. I think I got whetstone for one of them. I mean, I got this a lot, the sapphire smithing slate, and the opal smithing slate. I get those a lot. I've been told it can go up to 5, but I've really just seen them go up to 4. And you can see which ones can be used by this little exclamation mark. This means that they are used for a quest, and a lot of times it's these quests. So you can get them from various crafts. So you just level that stuff up to 4 and you're perfectly fine for those. These are generally you have to go to a NPC and you have to talk to the NPC to go in to kill mobs. I'll try to do one real fast just so I can try to show you. Oh, and each quest you pick up, if it takes you to another map, will generally have this right here. So you can just go there instead of having to pay to go there, or using your premium if you have premium. But see, as you can see, nothing on the map is showing. An easy way to do this is just to follow this arrow. And he's right here for this one. And you go in, and then there will be certain mobs that spawn, and you kill the mobs to however many times it tells you to do. Some of those are kind of hard to find, but if you just follow these arrows, you can toggle this on or off. Just find the quest and press this little thing here, and it will come up here, and you can follow the arrow. Sometimes they take a while because you have to kill 25 to 30 of these things, and it's kind of annoying to do because you have to wait and wait and wait for them to respawn. But I have a feeling if they just spawned all 30, it would be too much, especially since these are level 50 quests, and not everyone has gear yet. I do recommend doing these, if nothing else, but to get the reputation for the incoming content. If you can't get the reputation for the incoming content, or you just don't feel like doing it, that's another part of the game that you might not be able to do. I don't know what the new part is going to give. If you have legendary stuff and you need the value rerollers, then do the ones that you need value rerollers for. They can take a while, especially during the beginning of the week when the weeklies are out. Each faction, like I said earlier, has a world boss that you have to kill for a weekly. Sometimes the world bosses are really easy, especially if you start them at the beginning of the week. Sometimes they're really annoying. It depends on... It seems like everyone gets the same world bosses for the weeklies. So it's not like this group has a different one or this group has a different one. They seem to all have the same. And like I said, they do give you random things. The 5th faction does give you that cheeky world boss that I was mentioning earlier. I didn't say its name. But the SkyFortress world boss. It spawns every 2 hours. And you go here to SkyFortress deck. And this is where it spawns. It spawns up here. But it flies around and it moves around. So from there it goes down here, and then it can go back up there, and then it goes on this side. And it's a really annoying world boss, to be honest, because it puts an accuracy debuff on you, and it just takes forever to kill. But it spawns every 2 hours. It doesn't spawn for another hour? No, it spawns in like 10 minutes. But hopefully I won't still be doing this video by then. And you need that for the 5th faction, and there's an achievement for killing him. It's that fast. There are a lot of trophies for these guys. You go here, or to whatever your trophy is. For me it's Y. Then you go to factions, and these are all of the ones that you can get. There's a lot. One of them, there's get to know each of these NPCs. What you do is you talk to them and you click here to chat with them. And sometimes it takes a while before you can actually get them. And there's another trophy that you get for no reason. And you can do this even before you have the reputation that I do. Like I said, it takes about 7 days to get the reputation. To trusted, and that's... I guess I can mention that, why that is now. There's this thing called sorties that are also another achievement. which you go to this orb right here, you press F, and it's a free teleport to any of the places that have this icon. So these are filled missions, that's what they call them. And to use this, you have 10 of them you can use, but there's only 5 filled missions. If you have all the factions unlocked, there's 1 per faction. You do not get this faction unlocked, or the filled mission unlocked for the faction if you unlock that faction that day, which is why it takes 7 days. If that was not the case, you could finish all of the until trusted in 6 days, or 7 days. Wait. Yeah. It takes a week and a day. I keep saying 7 days, but it's more like 8. But it's due to these field missions that do not unlock the first day. I don't understand why. But you do these every day and it gives you some more. They're pretty easy. And then that's how it is. I mean, you get this to trusted and then you can keep going if you want. If you don't, then you don't have to. I would recommend still getting your factions, do at least the weeklies, just so that you can get the crystal fragments and the green crystals and blue crystals. If nothing else, these are weekly things, so every week this shop does reset and you can buy things again. It's also per character, so if you want it on different characters, you have to go to that character, and each of the items that you buy is character bound. So if you want something on your main and you do it on your alt, it's not going to work. You can't buy these on your alt and then put them on your main because they will be bound to your alt. I mean, that's basically the faction stuff. Just remember to do your field dailies, because there are weeklies to do at least 1 field daily for, I think, most, if not all of these. And yeah, I mean, I'm rambling at this point, so I hope this helps and I hope it shows the reason to do it. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that we know is kind of up in the air because they've changed stuff for our version. Some of this, like, you might need higher reputation for the next part, you might need no reputation for the next part. It just, I don't know. What is being thrown around now is that you need at least trusted in each of the factions. And since you need trusted in multiple in each faction to open the next faction, so like I have to have trusted in this faction to open this faction, then trusted in this faction to be able to open the last faction. It kind of makes it to where it takes a while to do it, which is why I haven't done this video until now. I got lucky and managed to be about a week ahead with the Alliance captain because I somehow did one quest before the weekly reset the week this came out. But most people are just now starting onto the Alliance ones. That's just how it goes, unfortunately. And I hope this helps. If you have any other questions for SkyFortress, I'll try to answer them in the comments. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys.